Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today, do I sound gay to you? Because for the longest time that I can remember, I have thought when I hear my own voice on record, like hearing it back, I've always thought, man, I sound super gay. Like I have the cadence, I have the tone, I have the whole, in my mind anyway, I think that I sound incredibly gay. And yet, many people are incredibly surprised when they find out that I'm gay. Many people are a little surprised, a bit shocked. Some people totally get it. They're like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, I always knew that. People, when I came out to several people that I'd known my whole life, some of them absolutely knew. They were sure. They were like, oh, yeah, of course you're gay. And some of them were completely surprised, including my own mother. She was very surprised. So it's one of those things about sounding gay, some of the language that gay men use, some of the cadence, the tone, the hyperbolic nature, or maybe the way that they phrase certain sentences or ask certain questions. Sometimes when we get excited, our voices change in tone and rhythm and all of these things. And you can watch a million YouTube videos and a million things about studies based on like gay sound or sounding gay or any of these things. But at the end of the day, it just comes back to like your own experience, how you decide to phrase sentences and structure them. And it really shouldn't be this big obsessive thing, but it is. Everybody is obsessed with the sexuality of celebrities, of anybody in history, historical figures. We are obsessed if our neighbors or our friends are gay or straight or whatever. And one of the big indications that people have picked up on is whether you sound gay or not. And for some reason, that's a big deal. And I think it's been a big deal for a long time. I watched a documentary on Netflix, I think it was years ago, and it was this group of people researching about, do you sound gay? Do gay men have a specific way of talking? All of this kind of thing. And at one point, one of the guys being interviewed is sort of asked like, oh, like when did your voice change? Like in puberty, because a lot of men or most boys' voice, it changes when you hit puberty. Mine certainly did. But this guy was asked like, when did your voice change? And he said, oh, I have no idea. And they asked like, what do you mean you have no idea? Like voice correction, anything? And he's like, no, I was bullied for being gay. So I just changed the register of my voice and I made it lower. So I don't actually know when my voice naturally changed because I actively changed it. And I think that hit me pretty hard because although I didn't know I was gay until I was like 18, 19 years old, I did remember getting bullied for sounding gay, for acting gay, for hanging out with girls, like all of this kind of thing. Like I played sports and I did a lot of stuff, but I think boys, for whatever reason, think it's appropriate to call each other gay. And so I was definitely bullied for that. And as a result, at like 11 or 12 years old, like I decided actively to lower the way I speak and to sort of talk like this. And when he said he didn't know when his voice actually and naturally changed, I was like, man, I'm the exact same. I have no idea when my voice actually changed. And I think that's pretty poignant. It's pretty interesting that, I have no idea when it changed. I was going through puberty that whole time and I actively made the decision, no, I'm going to talk in a lower voice. And that became an all-encompassing sort of thing that like, I don't know, even today, I sort of wonder if my voice is naturally supposed to be this low or if I'm just constantly lowering it to make sure that it has this tone. And I still think it sounds gay. So it's like, there's all of these different levels to this discussion and to this idea of, do I sound gay? Do I not sound gay? Coming out of the closet, trying to hide in the closet, like all of these topics and themes are kind of all interconnected. And it also makes me think about the way I acted and the way I behaved. I was in gymnastics as a kid, like under 12 years old, I was in gymnastics. And I wonder if one of the reasons why I stopped doing gymnastics was the bullying and the name calling and stuff. Because when you're a boy in gymnastics, like you're gonna get that constantly being told that you're gay. And as a result, like I started soccer and I did a bunch of stuff like that. I got into archery and skiing and a bunch of things that, I mean, I do naturally like these things, but I do wonder if I changed my behavior because I was like, oh, I sound gay. I don't want this association. And I have to stress, like at this point, I had no idea that I was gay. Like I genuinely had no concept or idea. I wasn't attracted to guys. I didn't look at guys, and like I didn't, a lot of guys talk about like going to the underwear section of a clothing store and seeing like the models and going like, oh my gosh. I had none of that. Like I genuinely had none of those like classic tells, And so it was a pretty big revelation at like 18 or 19 years old to go like, oh my gosh, like a lot of this suddenly has like a context to it that I never knew it had. And I started to kind of understand a lot more about this whole like debate and struggle and the difficulties of being in the closet, and all of that stuff sort of finally became relevant to me. But yeah, and I think I'm even conscious of when my voice changes, when I'm excited or something. Like I'll change the register of my voice, and oh my gosh, now I'm like way up here and I'm so excited. And then I'm very careful to like come back down to this level, this register. And I don't know, it's one of those really interesting things. I don't necessarily have a strong opinion on that kind of thing. I think a lot of gay men who have the very stereotypical register, very high, very feminine, they get so much hate and they have to deal with so much garbage opinions and bigotry because like it's not even them being out and proud, it's just them speaking the way that they naturally speak, and yet people get so angry at that and they judge them for it. And it's wild. I've been on dates with guys who have a very feminine, gay sounding voice, and we are treated totally different than when I'm hanging out with other friends that just speak in a stereotypically straight way, I guess is how you'd say. But, it's a huge difference because if I'm with someone who is stereotypically gay sounding, everyone thinks, oh, they must be a couple or something. And then we're treated differently. Sometimes we're treated better, sometimes we're treated worse. And then when I'm out with my buddies or something who are all straight, everyone just assumes we're brothers or friends, or there's no weird undertone to like a waitress coming over and asking for our order. There's none of that kind of, weirdness to it because we pass as straight. And I hate that whole concept, but how you sound very much can determine a lot. It can determine just as much as how you look. Unfortunately, our skin color, our religion, all of these things are judgmental things that people have an opinion on. And unfortunately, that means that you get prejudice and you deal with all kinds of difficulty. So it's a difficult divide to sort of deal with. But I'm really curious about your guys' thoughts and opinions. Do you sound gay? Do you think you sound gay? Do you think you just sound like a normal person? Which is gay, like everybody's normal. Nobody should sound anything. Everybody should just be who they want to be and be who they are. But for whatever reason, people are very fascinated by the way we speak and the way we structure our sentences and how much we swear, how much we talk about certain topics. You are judged by everything you do every second of the day. And it's just a reality we have to learn to deal with and adapt with. And unfortunately, some of us have adapted by lowering our voices and sounding straight. And again, when I watch this back to edit it, I'm just gonna be like, man, he sounds so gay. And it's not a bad thing. For a long time, I thought it was a bad thing, but now that I do this regularly, I have learned to really like my voice and I don't have a problem with the way I speak. So there you go. When you have a conscious effort on your voice, I think it changes a little bit. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. So with that being said, I hope you're having an amazing day. If you liked the video, like it. Leave your comments about, you know, developing your voice. Did it change through puberty? Do you have a gay voice? Do you have a straight voice? Do you have a voice like an angel? Do you have a voice like Whitney Houston? Every single one of them is completely accepted and totally good to have. So again, thank you guys for watching. And as always, I will talk to you tomorrow.